Welcome to the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Show you how this thing drives. Let's start her up. As you can see, I've got all my seat and steering wheel settings programmed in, so whenever I start the car, it moves me right into the proper driving position. So I'm gonna back out of the garage for you. I got my backup camera right here that you can't see, but that definitely is a lot of help. Like I said, having all the cameras around this thing really helps you, navigate tight spaces so you don't mess up your nice paint job and your trim. Fortunately, I have a really flat driveway, so it's really easy to back out of. Just get out of the neighborhood here, avoid all the trash cans. Watch out for the neighbors. So typically I drive it in sport mode. I'll either drive it in sport mode or track mode. It's a sports car. I don't really like the touring mode steering feel. It's too numb for me. Like I was saying earlier about the electronic power steering, the sport and touring mode, sport and track mode, kind of resemble a hydraulic power steering feel. Not to the full extent, but it's better than driving it in just pure touring mode or eco mode or any of the other modes where the steering is completely numb. Going around the turning circle here. Yeah, visibility is pretty good. You got your fender lines that you can follow, so you don't bump into any curbs. I like to drive it in manual mode. It does have a pretty good automatic mode, but from what I've read is that when the car is constantly going back and forth from the fuel saver cylinder deactivation mode, it wears on the torque converters. That's what I've heard. I haven't noticed anything funny with the torque converters, but everyone says if you drive it in manual mode and just flap the paddles around, you won't have any issues. But I just like to do that anyway. I like driving with the paddles. Another thing, when you're first driving it, you gotta wait for the engine to fully warm up. I think there's certain criteria that the engine and transmission all have to meet as far as temperature and oil pressure, I guess, so you can release all the RPMs. So right now I'm limited to 4,000 RPM. The car's still cool. It's a cool 55 degrees outside. There we're starting to release a little bit more RPM. But yeah, when you're doing that, you can just listen to your 9-speaker Bose sound system.
Couple of kids in a Chevrolet, catch a little air on the cross tracks, sipping on something from a paper stack, and hang your shirt on that maple lamp, slipping through the moon to the river bend. Wasn't very long, I was talking
All in all, it's a pretty comfortable ride, even in the sport modes. It's definitely more comfortable in the touring mode, but like I said, I like to drive a sports car, so I'll usually have it in sport mode. Well, this guy is making a right turn out of the left lane. Don't know why he's doing that. Like I said, people around here can't drive. Let's see if we can get some this engine warmed up a bit. So right now I'm only hitting about 4,500 RPM. Oh, these people want to stop right here in the road. Cool. basically like a race car. I mean, the grip, the lateral grip that it has is insane. I've never driven a car like this before. I've been in some other cars. I've been in some 911s. For a base Corvette and for the price, this car, I don't know what other car you can beat in handling wise. Yeah, for a base Stingray Corvette, it's unbelievable. Now I do have a track alignment set on this thing right now, and it really makes the initial turn in super responsive. When you want to change lanes on the highway, this thing will just snap over to the next lane like in an instant. Now that being said, I don't recommend driving around the street with your track day alignment, although I've gotten used to it. It definitely helps pull more G's when you're on the track. I had a guy, my alignment guy, set it up for track not too long ago, probably about 6 or 7 months ago, and I've just gotten so used to it because I do a lot of spirited driving up in the mountains, which I might show you later. That alignment will definitely benefit that type of driving when you're trying to have fun and pull some of those G's around the turns. I've seen this thing on the track pull on the G meter over 1.1 G, like I think 1.11 was the most I've ever seen. I'm sure it's gone higher, and that's just on street tires, these Michelin PS4S tires. You can get full race compound tires on this thing, and it will, probably break your neck. Yeah, I can't imagine. I have not been in a Z06 or a Grand Sport, but I can only imagine what it's like going through a corner in one of those things at high rate of speed. I'm gonna stop off at the Walmart. One thing I'm not too fond about the paddles is how small they are. I kind of wish they were a little bit bigger. I do like the crisp feel to the paddles, how they change gear. And going back to the transmission for being a transmission with a torque converter, it shifts really fast. I've read on reviews that it's just as fast as a PDK, if not faster than a PDK transmission. But you do notice that it does have a torque converter. There are some instances where the shifts feel a little mushy when you're shifting at certain RPMs or certain throttle positions. I don't know if that's the traction control trying to kick in and make it so you don't, wipe out as you shift the car or shift the gears. I mean, you know it's there. You can feel that there's a torque converter. You know it's not a dual clutch. The new C8, I can't wait to see that, or even test drive one of those to feel how that. I believe it's an 8-speed dual clutch. Yeah, that's going to be a huge improvement on the transmission. The 8-speed here it's good. You get good gas mileage with it, but like I said, it is noticeable that you are driving a car with a torque converter. Okay, so I just got back from running Redbox. Yeah, I stopped at Walmart, got a little Redbox. Girlfriend wanted to see Hobbs and Shaw, so we're going to see Hobbs and Shaw tonight. Yeah, so enough about ragging on the transmission. The transmission, to me, is good enough. Visibility. The visibility is actually surprisingly well. Way better than, I used to have a Camaro 2011 Camaro SS and a 2013 Camaro ZL1, and the visibility in those things was horrible. You could barely see over the hood. The windows on the sides were too small. Even though these windows seem a little small, you can actually see way better out of these. I don't know, it's because of the seats or what it is. Just something about the Camaro, like, it was so hard to see out the sides of the windows and see out the front of the car. With this car, I don't have any problem seeing totally in front of the hood. I don't have any problems backing up, whether I use the backup camera or the rear view mirror. Yeah, I don't really have that many problems with visibility. I don't know if I just got, because I got used to driving sports cars like this, but I like it. Do a quick pull on the highway. I'll leave the window down. Maybe we'll hear some engine noise. Put it in track mode. Track mode with the dual mode exhaust makes it the loudest, obviously. Some construction going on. We don't want to go too fast. So deep and throaty. It's like there's nothing else like them. Earlier when I was doing a walk around. The brakes will throw your eyeballs out of your skull. Like, I did some upgrades to the brakes, but from the factory, these 4-piston Brembo brakes, they're all you're really going to need. Yeah, it stops on a dime. Haven't had any problems with the brakes with these cars. Not my Camaro or my Z51 or this car. Always had good brakes. Nice and smooth. You don't have a lot of issues with the brakes. My BMW, my E92 M3, I had to do a big brake kit swap because those brakes were terrible. The calipers overheated, the rotors overheated, they warped, they shuddered. Like I said, I've done 7-track days with this car and I've never had a problem with the brakes. And it's always good to have confidence in your brakes. Of all the systems on a car, the most reliable should be the brakes. And especially with a really fast sports car, when you're going into a turn, you're coming into a turn at 140 miles an hour and you need to stomp those brakes. You want to have the confidence in those brakes. This thing, I will never have a lack of confidence with those. I've done, like I said, 100 degrees days, 100 plus degrees Fahrenheit track days, and brakes never had a problem. I used high temp brake fluid. I used the StopTech street slash track pad, and I've got the newer rotors now, the disc brake Australia rotors with the kangaroo pawl slots, and those work great. But you know, the calipers and everything, the braking system, they all work fantastic. Damn. So yeah, driving this car in inclement weather is really a piece of cake. Even in track mode, I'll drive this thing in the rain, no problems. The traction control, the driver stability control, all the driver aids are very less intrusive than most other cars. Like, your engine won't just like bog down and like completely, you know, nanny you from driving. They're great. Like, I haven't had any problems driving this car in the rain. I have not had it in any snow yet, but with these tires, I've driven another car with these tires in the snow, and these tires are crazy. These PS4S tires, I don't understand how they work so well in all different weather conditions. They're just amazing. And you put these on your Corvette, you will have no problems driving your Corvette around, daily driving it. Huge standing water or light rain or cold weather, and then you get the benefits of how sticky they are on the track when you're driving at 100 miles an hour on a hot dry day, and you know these tires will warm up like a race compound tire, and they'll get more sticky, and they're great. They're a great addition to the Corvette Stingray. If you want to get a Stingray, I recommend, do not get the zero pressure, do not get the run flat tires, get the Michelin PS4S's or another tire comparable to them, if there is. I'm not so sure if there's another tire comparable to the Michelin PS4S, but I recommend the PS4S out of all the tires I've ever used. I've had Pirellis, I've had Hancooks, Michelin's, man, and they last. Like, I've had, let's see, I've got 30,000, about 29,500 miles on this car right now. I put the tires on at about 15,000. They're rated for 30,000 miles if you can rotate them. Obviously, you can't rotate tires on this car because your wheels are different sizes, unless you have a squared setup. But if you have factory wheels, you can't rotate your tires. And I'm at 15,000 miles, and I have plenty of tread life. And I just had this car at the track, and they still stick. I don't know how much longer they're going to last. Hopefully another 10,000 miles. That'd be awesome. The Super Sports, the predecessor of these tires, they didn't last nearly as long. And people probably like, oh, well, you know, if they're anything like the Super Sports, they're expensive and they don't last very long. Well, this is not the case for the PS4S. If you're going to get another Michelin tire, get the PS4S. It is worth the money. I think for this car, it was around $1,300, and I oversized them. I even got a deal, I think, for oversizing them. I think I discussed that in my last video. I got the 255s in the front and the 295s in the rear, by just oversizing by 10 millimeters in the front and the back. But yeah, they end up being cheaper for the oversized tire. I guess the downside is you have a little bit heavier tire, but I think you get way more grip. And the life of the tire, even with my aggressive camber setup and alignment setup, they're pretty evenly worn throughout, from the inside of the tire to the outside of the tire, from shoulder to shoulder. So if you're gonna get a sports car, get the Michelin PS4S. Like I said, works good in cold weather, hot weather, rain. Not so sure about snow yet, but if they're anything like the all-season pluses that I have on the BMW, the all-season 3 pluses, those work good in snow. These should be good too. But yeah, anyway, if you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll try to have some more content coming out here shortly. I know it's been a while since my last video, but stay tuned, more stuff to come. Maybe some more track day footage, maybe some, I don't know, like documentary type deal, how to get ready for the track, something like that. But yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye.